This is a quick little tutorial on how to make recycled paper out of discarded or paper you've already used. So the first thing you're going to do is find some paper. This is stuff I found by the Augie printers, and you're really just going to rip it up into small pieces. Here's a bag that I did off camera, and then once you have all your paper, you're going to mix it up into some water, and this is going to need to set and soak in there for at least 5 hours. Overnight is best. So when you're working with this paper, you don't really need to worry about whether or not it's colored ink paper, or just black and white, because the majority of the paper is white in ratio to, compared to the ink, so your paper will still turn out white. And if you want to have extra fun, you can add colored paper, or you can add some dyes later on, and it'll just affect the way that your paper turns out. So once you get that all mixed together, you're gonna let that soak for a while. This is the next day. It's all wet and goopy. So then you're gonna add it to a blender and mix it up. I found that if you go through it, go through the blender a couple times, it turns out better. You'll put some of the paper in there, and then you're gonna add a little bit of water just to help it blend better. So here I'm just adding the water, like I said, and then you're gonna blend this just until it's smooth, or at least no visible chunks. The more you blend it, the better your paper will turn out. So here we have the pulp. That is the bucket that I already did. If you look, it's it's not nearly as chunky as the other paper. So here you're going to be adding your pulp to a clean bucket of water. Definitely recommend having a towel on hand because I spilled a lot. You're just going to add the pulp into the water and kind of swish it around. I don't know if there's an exact ratio. Here, this part's completely optional, but I decided to add flower seeds to mine so that once I'm done using my paper, the final time I can plant it and grow wildflowers. So here I'm just swirling that around. I am going to show a couple different ways. So you grab your mold and decal, and you're going to put that in the water, and I'm going to show you the difference between a good turnout of paper and a bad one. So here, if you add your mold and decal like this, you're gonna it's not gonna turn out at all, and you're gonna have really chunky, and you're gonna have some spots that don't have any paper, or if it's thick, you see all those wrinkles and stuff, your paper's just not gonna turn out well. However, next I'm gonna show you an example of what it should do. So here you're adding it in. You want to make sure it's all submerged and then swirl it a little bit so that you have paper evenly covering the screen. Once you do that, you're going to kind of tap it off, try to get some of the excess water off. I got a lot on my hands and seeds on my hands. And then you're going to take a towel and lay that down, and then a separate piece of fabric. This fabric is what we're going to be putting the paper onto while it dries. Once you do that, you're going to take the top part of your mold off, and using the fabric, you're going to lay it on top of the decal, and then you're going to turn that over onto the fabric, and using my trusty scrub mommy, you're going to squeeze out all of the excess water. So in this one, just because it was the first, there isn't a whole lot, but as it goes on, then the towel's more wet, you're going to be getting a lot more water out of here. Once you're done, you're going to just take the decal off and hang it up somewhere to dry. And yeah, then later that day after it's dry, you can take it off and use your paper.